Our dream for our 34 acres here in Port Angeles was to have an alpaca farm as kind of a hobby, but to take the raw acreage here and clear it so that it looked like a park and we could sit back and enjoy it most of the year. Before we purchased the DR Field and Brush Mower, we used hand loppers and we used a sickle. We used a gas-powered weed whacker. We have a tractor with a bush hog on it that we use. But using the DR Field and Brush Mower has just helped us get into all of those areas that we couldn't reach with other things, and it does it so quickly. The first time I got behind the new DR, I said, oh my gosh, this is mine. And Jim had to bring me in for dinner that night, and I thought, oh my gosh, this does the job so well, I have to name it. And so I named the new DR Gertie, after my great aunt, who just worked from morning till night and just kept right on trucking, and that's how the DR works. We recommend the DR to others. When we have visitors come to our farm, one of the first things we get out is the DR, and we take the visitors out to the woods and we show them how it works. It's like getting out the baby pictures. Come here, you guys gotta see this. Oh, we dig it out and I buzz around something and they go, wow.
I'm not surprised that Mrs. Beauvais is excited about her DR Field and Brush Mower. Hi, I'm Tom Parent, sales manager here at DR Power Equipment, where the DR Field and Brush Mower is manufactured. We often hear from folks who have a nice piece of country property and a dream of making it better. They've discovered the DR to be just the solution they're looking for. Now, the DR is not for everyone, but after viewing this tape, you should have a good idea of what the DR is capable of. So let's visit with some more of our owners and see if their situations apply to your property.
My house here in Guildhall is about 6.2 acres on a beautiful lot of land that I fell in love with. And the bottom two is very, very overgrown. It's along the river, heavy brush, saplings, there's some poison sumac. At first I didn't know what to do. And I'd actually looked into full-size tractors, but between the, $3 to $5 grand for the brush hog and the 12 to 20 for the tractor, it didn't seem very economically feasible just to clear out with some brush. And whenever I searched on the internet, DR always came up. It's designed with a very specific purpose, and it does that very well. It cuts down brush and lightly wooded things. You pretty much point it and go.
We bought the property a little less than a year ago. We saw it, fell in love with it. It was perfect. We're building a home. We've put in the pond. We'll have fish for the grandchildren and for us to enjoy. We want to keep a lot of this 12 acres natural, but we will need trails, cleared places under the trees where we can put a little bench and sit down and watch the birds or the deer or whatever. And for us, it's going to be our own little private Eden.
Well, living in California, we worry quite a bit about fire season. And the particular house that we live in now, we have about 4 acres with a house surrounded by brush. And we tried cutting it down with weed eaters, and I've tried cutting down with little lawn mowers, and I really couldn't get what I considered a safe situation for my house. And this DR Field and Brush Mower, I can easily clear around my house, and it makes my wife and I feel a lot safer living in California in the summertime.
I got about 3 acres of property here. Most of it's field, just very small woodland, but the areas of property I was having trouble with was mainly the front of the place here when you're driving in, and it was just all overgrown and it just looked terrible. I was a machinist for 27 years, and good products, and it's well built, and as soon as I took it out of the crate, you could see it was just a well-made, it was tight, it was just solid, and it sold me on it before I even used it. But then when I did get it out, it just amazed me. It just tore through everything I had out there.
And purchased this piece of property, which consisted of the old house, and with it came 40 acres. It had a pond, a view, a barn, and some meadowland and some woodland. So it's land that we had to reclaim after spending many years of cranking and pulling to start engines. It was wonderful to step up to the DR mower and with a little finger and thumb turn it and have it start beautifully. I had been itching to reclaim the pond, and I had done it, seems like every year until I got tired of it, and then I let it go a couple years, and it was like almost waist high with alders and just a tanglement of you name it. And so I went right down to the pond and got a big grin on my face and just mowed the heck out of the place, chopped it right up. So that's the first thing I did, was went right down to the pond and said, this time you're not going to beat me.
You've seen the capabilities of the DR. Now let's take a closer look at the features, options, attachments, and various models. Starting with our most maneuverable DR field and brush mower, the 7-horsepower Scout model. The Scout is a scaled-down version of our larger models for folks with smaller land clearing needs. The Scout has a 22-inch wide cut and a constant differential, so it's easy for anyone to operate, turn, and maneuver. It will easily clear thick, foot-tall grass, 3-foot-high stocky weeds and light brush, and even small saplings, up to 3/4 of an inch thick. It's perfect for clearing and maintaining trails, fence lines, around ponds, along driveways, roadside ditches, and will even handle modest-sized, wide-open areas of up to 1 acre, or even more if you have the time. Our larger DR field and brush mowers are heavier, more powerful machines with added features and capabilities. You can choose models with either a 26-inch or a 30-inch wide cut for faster, easier mowing of large areas. The mowing deck on these larger models pivots up to 15 degrees on either side, following the contours of the terrain to prevent scalping. 4 forward speeds let you mow at a brisk walk, or slow down in really thick vegetation. And power reverse lets you back out of tight quarters. There's a powerful parking brake which comes in handy during transport or anytime you need to leave it unattended. Let go of the wheel drive lever and the machine stops moving. The operator presence control kills the engine if you let go when the blade is engaged. These models have an exclusive locking differential, which enables you to lock the axle for excellent traction and straight tracking in rough terrain. Unlock it and the wheels can turn independently for exceptionally easy turning. Just engage this switch to activate a commercial quality electric clutch, which enables you to start or stop the blade quickly and easily. Our all-terrain tires measure a large 18 inches in diameter by 6.5 inches wide. They are self-sealing in case of minor punctures from thorns or sharp sticks, and the wheels attach with tractor-style lug nuts. The gas tanks on our larger models have been customized to hold 2.5 gallons, and the fuel cap has a gas gauge built in, so you can tell at a glance how much fuel you have left. There are 2 control panel options you may wish to add. The first is an hour meter, which fits neatly in the control panel. It tells you hours run, RPMs, and when to do scheduled maintenance. The second option is a light, which mounts on the control panel. Simply plug it in to connect it. We've always taken comments from our customers seriously. For years, we've heard that you'd like to replace the brush deck with various attachments. Well, we're proud to announce that our larger models are now 4-season machines. These models accommodate powered attachments quickly and easily. Let's watch. To remove the brush deck, all you do is loosen the drive belt, remove the locking pin, and once you've stabilized the drive unit, simply slide off the deck. Our attachments slide on just as easily. The new 42-inch wide lawn mowing attachment turns the DR into a fast, professional-style lawnmower. The deck is made of durable 12-gauge steel and mows with 2 21-inch long mulching blades for a beautifully smooth cut. You can adjust the cutting height from 2 to 4.5 inches instantly with this single lever. The front-mounted caster wheels support the deck and swivel in any direction, so you never have to lift the deck to turn. 5-inch anti-scalp wheels mounted in the rear help keep the deck and blade from scalping. If you live in the snow belt, you can add this new 30-inch wide single-stage snow thrower. The DR's powerful engine lets you clear snow up to 2 feet deep, and you can direct the discharge chute up to 230 degrees. Our grader blade is made of 11-gauge steel, locks in 3 different positions, and has adjustable skids that allow for proper ground clearance. It's ideal for spreading gravel, sand, mulch, or uncompacted dirt, and also makes a fine snowplow.
From what I've seen, the quality is superior. The design was done by a genius. I cannot believe how easy the controls are to get to, and that reverse gear is the best thing in the whole wide world. If it were not for the 2 little skids that it runs on and the pivoting action that it has, I would be so bogged down in dewberry vines, grapevines, both of which are quite strong. This slides over obstacles rather than bumping up against them. And that's one of the things that I find is a wonderful feature.
The balance on it, I'm very impressed with the balance. I'm only 5 feet tall, but this DR is very easy for me to maneuver, to turn around, to go up and down slopes, to back up. It does everything very well.
And I was backing up the other day with it, and I tripped over a little log and started to fall back and let go, and the machine immediately stalls out. So it's good to know that you're not going to have this machine go over your feet if you fall down. It dies immediately.
I think the DR does, in fact, stand for quality. A lot of the components they've used, all the ones that are certainly visible, if you look at the clutch on the axle, it's very substantial. And the size of the axle shafts themselves, I'm never going to bend those. They certainly are overbuilt for the machine. And the gauge of the steel from the actual housing of the unit all the way to the cutter itself is heavy enough that I don't feel that I'm ever going to have issue with it. The lugs on the DR, it's the perfect pattern. I mean, I haven't used it as a snowblower, but I suspect it would be great in the snow because they're wide open and pretty self-cleaning. They don't get caked up with mud, and it goes through pretty much anything.
Actually, I probably use the snowblower attachment more than the mower attachment. I have my driveway here that it gets drifted up 2 and 3 feet at a time, and I've always gotten through with the mower. The mower starts right up. That's the main reason why I started using it in the wintertime, because my truck with a plow on it, I couldn't get it started half the time. It's easy to move around. I can change it by myself within about 10 minutes. It's a dream. It works perfect.
We are very proud of our DR products and the job they do helping to improve country properties. At the same time, we fully recognize that asking you to put your money into this substantial an investment is asking quite a lot. We won't sell you a DR unless we're convinced it's the right tool for you. There simply has never been anything like the DR Field and Brush Mower.
It does everything it's supposed to do much better than I ever would have envisioned it. It's actually fun to use, and that may sound a little odd, but I enjoy when I use it to cut down the brush because it works so well and makes light work of what would be virtually impossible to do otherwise.
Well, the only thing I can say about it is that I'll fight anybody that tries to get it away from me.
DR is professional power for homeowners.